Hey, hey, welcome back. It is a terrific Tuesday on Liquid Lunch. Here's to you. If you're quarantined like me, it never hurts to have a little cocktail in the middle of the day. Looking at these markets really closely now, I've been mentioning for a couple of weeks now that I think the Dow has a lot, the equity markets have a lot of government intervention in there, which is always scary. The volatility is going to be off the charts. If you're going shopping in the markets, you should be looking for real super values and not thinking that stocks are going to charge higher. I think they actually could come down a little more as the government money starts to wash away from the market. So be careful there. If you remember back in February, Warren Buffett, one of the most famous investors of all time, one of the wealthiest men in the world, the head of Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most credible companies in the world, said that he thought Bitcoin had zero value. Zero. He said, I think it has no value. The asset has no value. Yesterday, as they call him, the Oracle of Omaha, announced that down at Berkshire they're eating a little crow, as Berkshire Hathaway is off about 12% for the year. And they basically liquidated all of their airline stocks. They're no longer in any of the airlines. Buffett, when questioned about it, they said, well, what position are you in now to get back in the market? He said, our position will be at Fort Knox, meaning their position is cash is king. He did throw in at the end there that, never bet against America, which I'm with him on that one. But the contrast I was trying to make is, for those of you out there who are crypto fans like me, and I'm really focused on how this asset is performing right now. For quite some time, Bitcoin looked like a flight to safety asset. When the markets were starting to crash a little bit, people would go grab some Bitcoin, and it would be like an alternative. They were trading for a while in a reverse correlation, market up, Bitcoin down, market down, Bitcoin up. That broke during the Corona crisis. But lately, Bitcoin right now, as we speak, around 8,800. I'm the founder of a company, one of the original founding members of a company called T0, which is a subsidiary of Overstock.com. We were the forerunners in bringing Bitcoin and blockchain technology to the U.S. capital market system. I've been deeply involved since 2014, serious early adopter. And I've even added to my position in Bitcoin as early as October, where I bought some Bitcoin at 8,000. So I continue to feel good about it. There's this big event coming up that you guys may or may not know about, but when you want to engage in a Bitcoin transaction and you match with someone else and you want to buy or they want to sell or vice versa, that transaction gets thrown onto what they call the blockchain, the ledger technology, and then millions of computers around the world are mining those transactions to see if they can confirm that both wallets that want to transact have in them exactly what they say. And then when there is enough affirmation around the solution of those math problems, the transaction happens almost simultaneously. And all of those who had contributed to confirming the validity of that transaction and the genesis of the assets that were switched, get paid a little fee. Okay, it's called a mining fee. They get a little scrap of cryptocurrency. What's happening starting May 11th is what has been referred to as the halvening. And one of the ways that the circulation and supply of Bitcoin grows so more people can adopt it is the mining fees are paid, and that's how more Bitcoins are printed to pay people for providing a service on the system. Many of those people take them, put them all together, and go sell them to other retail buyers, and then the supply of Bitcoins improves. What's happening on May 11th is they're going to half that fee. So it's minuscule amounts of money, but there are millions, quite possibly billions of transactions out there to be solved every day. And one of the things you need to know is that whatever you were getting paid up until now is going to be half that starting May 11th. So number one, people who are mining for this, the business may have a little problem unless you're a huge critical mass miner like my company, InvestView, through our Apex division. We actually have one of the largest mining facilities in the country, and certainly the largest right here in the Northeast. Somehow or another, I'm getting the signal that I think we have Frank. I know we've tried multiple times to get Frank in. Do we have Frank? Hey, all right, Frankie, you made it.
I did, yes.
Hi, pal.
Thankfully, I was the only person on the bus, so I was able to fly back home.
Frankie is going into Manhattan every day because he's the producer and one of the hosts on the Joe Piscopo show, heard every single day, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AM 970, The Answer, right here in New York, and on Sundays, Morano in the morning from 3:30 to 8. Franco, what's the big news today? I mean, I'm really focused on this Flynn stuff. I just can't believe I saw his attorney, Sidney Powell, on last night. What do you think? We got like a minute here, and then you got to stay with us so we don't lose you.
Well, I know Sidney Powell, and I've followed her work for a number of years, and she's done a great job here. But I think it's outrageous that the FBI actually tricked this three-star general into talking to them without an attorney, and they had no interest in finding out the truth about any actual crimes. Instead, they basically seemed like they were scheming to try to either get him to lie to them so that they could either get him fired or have him prosecuted, or both. And I think that's the opposite of how law enforcement's supposed to work in this country. I think whether you love Donald Trump, you hate Donald Trump, or whether you don't have an opinion about Donald Trump, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is a tremendous example of prosecutorial overreach and law enforcement not putting a stop to crime, but actually creating crime. I think it's disgusting.
All right, Frankie, you know we're on this new clock. Stay right there. Chris Burns is going to join us momentarily right after this break. He's the CEO of Dynamic Money. And Frankie and I are going to talk to him about two new op-eds he has out on the economic realities of life in America after COVID. We're coming back with Chris Burns on Liquid Lunch right here. I'm John Tabak.